the same people who help lead their organizations to a very plotted, to a very precise, structured plan and schedule go home, leave the office, leave the walls, the confines of the office, walk outside into complete and utter chaos in their personal life on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis. And it's like, I don't get it. And so I thought about this concept of Q1 planning, and it's like, well, why wouldn't we plan Q1 for our personal lives? My name is Brian Pannuzzo. I'm an executive coach that helps successful professionals get wealthy outside of the office in their mind, their body, and their relationships. I'm an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat inside of corporate America in your seat for 2 decades. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. My name is Brian Pannuzzo. This is the Success Lift podcast, and I am so happy that you're back. I lost the microphone. I was going to use the mic, and then the mic hasn't been working for very long anyway. So why have it here? So you get to see a little bit more of the Success Lift swag that people have been asking about. If you would buy one of these t-shirts, let me know. I may start to get a little merch shop up and running. I've had a lot of people ask about them. Clients have asked about them. Probably don't think I'm going to make my clients pay for them. And so I will be reloading. We did a little trial run of the Success Lift t-shirts, just working on the brand a little bit. And I've been doing most of my videos in them, especially the podcast recently. And so if you would like one, let me know. Give me some feedback. I would appreciate it. We're in the month of October. This episode, full disclosure, was supposed to drop last week, but everything got pushed back a week with no episode happening 2 weeks ago now. I hope you had a great time listening to the Lavins. They are beasts of a couple. So accomplished, so incredible, so successful, but so down to earth, so normal. They are one of us, okay? And I always tell them, like, I really want to be them when I grow up because they're fit, they're wealthy, they're successful, they're generous, they're just couldn't be nicer people. They live very impressive but normal lives, okay? They struggle with having too many glasses of wine on a Wednesday night when they go out to dinner. They love keeping, their fitness in the forefront of their habits and their routines when they go away. They're somebody who I want to be and act a lot like when I'm much, much, much older like them. I'm just kidding. Soon, Tom. You guys are not that old and you're very, very young at heart. And so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to bring on a client, former client, moving forward, probably once a month or so, maybe once every 6 weeks, depending on when I can convince my clients to come on. I've had tremendous success stories inside of this program. Most of my clients are pretty private. And so I respect that when they're like, yeah, I don't really want to come on. I'm like, please. And this is for me, not you. But they, some will do it. Some will begin to do it more so. So this episode was supposed to be more at the beginning of October. We are now 1 full week into the month of October. And so I wanted to kick off the fourth quarter with you a bit. Everyone, holds up the 4 fingers during a football game at the end of the third quarter. We are now officially into the fourth quarter. September is done. Jesus Christ, that was fast. And obviously, it always is fast. And it's important to think about a couple of things from my perspective. And I want to talk a little bit about, this concept of planning. Q1 planning is, what we called the episode 2025 planning. If you think about your career and inside the office, and I'm going to bounce back and forth, but we're going to stay around the same umbrella, the same theme of Q4 into Q1. You think about it at the office right now, if you are part of any budget conversations, if you are part of any planning conversations, you are talking about 2025, no doubt. You may actually have an entire budget, an entire plan built out for 2025. Many of you know where you'll be traveling. Many of you know many aspects of your calendar already, and you know what you need to do in terms of targets that you need to hit, and you're billing a lot of business right now for 2025, okay? That's a pretty easy concept even for like my financial professionals who are still coming into the office and trading bonds or trading stocks or whatever today. and still chopping it up in 2024 and grinding the rest of the year out, we all can understand the concept that most businesses, if not all, at least the ones that survive the long term, do a pretty good job of planning their years out. And so when I speak to companies right now about my company wellness program and my executive coaching program that I run inside of corporate America, and oh, by the way, I will be taking on three and only three new corporate clients at the start of 2024 to run through my program in the first quarter with them. While it's a new year, it's a new you, it's a new company. They're people who are energetic and enthusiastic about their health. Wouldn't this be a great time for you to take an initiative and bring it inside of your business or inside of your team of 10 to 15 to 25 people, or your company of 50 or 100 people, whatever it may be, and jumpstart your year so that you can get everyone around you on the same page. You can build some camaraderie. You can improve the health of your organization. You can reduce your healthcare costs. You can increase your productivity over the course of time, all by focusing on areas of your life that coexist with the thing that we do every single day during the work week. We get up and we grind and we go to the office. And I'll show you these strategies that I've implemented in my own life, in the life of my one-on-one clients, and now my companies that I work with, on how you can optimize, you can improve your performance outside the office in different areas of your life so that you can ultimately be more productive inside the office, which, guess what, equals more money for the employees and more profits for the company. So if you'd like to talk about that, I am now in the planning phase and stage of beginning to work with three partners for the start of the 2025, I was going to say school year. We're already back to school. For the start of 2025 in Q1, January 1st is probably not a realistic start for a lot of companies. We'll be starting at some point in the first couple of weeks of January, maybe a few weeks into January, depending on what works for you and for them. And so if that's something that you think would be a powerful action to implement inside of your organization, you can reach me at brian@thesuccesslift.com. If you know me personally, you can reach me any other way that you want. All right. And so companies, I'm having these conversations with corporate America right now. So I'm very much in touch with what's happening. Everything happens inside corporate America at least 3 months out. Most of the time, it's even more than that. And so it started to ring around in my head a little bit of like, man, like companies, they're so forward thinking, the good ones. They plan everything out, and those individuals inside those companies are precision. They do it with precision. They're masterful at helping guide these organizations through the calendar year and looking out and saying, here's where we're at, where we're starting from. This might start to sound familiar for you. Here's where we're starting from today. We've made a lot of progress, but here's where we're at. Here's where we want to go. And so here are the turn-by-turn directions at which we need to follow in order to get to that goal. And doesn't that sound like some guy that you may tune into, hopefully on a weekly basis without pause, who tells you that when you get in the car and you have the destination and you have the origin and you put the destination into Waze, specifically, that's how it gives you the turn-by-turn directions. And so these same people who help lead their organizations to a very plotted, to a very precise, structured plan and schedule, go home, leave the office, leave the walls, the confines of the office, walk outside into complete and utter chaos in their personal life on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis. And it's like, I don't get it. And so I thought about this concept of Q1 planning, and it's like, well, why wouldn't we plan Q1 for our personal lives, Brian? I'm talking to myself right now. Why? I just shrugged my hands up in the air. If you're not following on YouTube, Why wouldn't we follow the same blueprint that we know works inside of our businesses? Because we know that if we don't have a plan in our businesses and we walk in the door this week, that all the fires that show up will end up jumbling everything that we're trying to accomplish. So while it does disrupt us in our professional lives, we ultimately have a roadmap to get back to. Yet in our personal lives, it's just fire after unexpected event after unexpected event, after kids' sickness and passing it to you. And I've been under the weather for the last week, which is why I sound the way I do. I couldn't record a podcast several days ago because I sounded like a 13-year-old boy. But fortunately, we're making some progress here. And so we don't do the same things inside of our personal lives. And in fact, even worse, many of us, and when I say us, I mean you, not fucking me, not my clients, hopefully not you if you listen to me frequently, but many of us, in air quotes, we have already chalked up the rest of 2024 to, at best, neutrality, at best. And most of us are just basically standing on the train tracks, waiting to get run over by the holiday season, end of the year, Q4 train that plows into us every single year. And what a shame, because it's not like we don't have the train schedule. We know when the train's coming. We know why it's coming. We know what places it's going to be to smash us every single year. Every year. Has it changed in the last 15 years of your life where you didn't have a major holiday? You didn't have obligations inside of your inside of corporate America, inside of your job. Okay. If you didn't have personal social obligations, yes, of course, the specific parties, the specific places you go oftentimes don't, but may change from venue to venue, day to day, time to time, but it chunks up to the same exact thing. And so we're all standing on the tracks and we know the train's coming. And so why not have a plan for that? So just like I'm suggesting that you actually look forward and plan out Q1, or at least the month of January. Christ, I don't even expect anybody to get all the way through 2025. That's not something that I've even done yet, but I have a plan for January. I know what season of my life that I'll be in for January and February already, because I'm in a particular season right now. And I have a roadmap forward where I just get to show up on Monday at the office of my personal life and follow the fucking plan that was laid out either by me or maybe, just maybe, by a professional, by a team, by people who have done what I'm looking to do. So if you're looking to do something that maybe I've done, maybe that would be a good fit. Or there are thousands and thousands of other people, coaches, programs, therapists, whatever out there. Go see some of them. Go consume some of their knowledge and actually put it into play. Stop just taking one thing from here, one thing from there, the celery juice thing from over here, the workout from over there, the hot and cold contrast thing from here. Actually put a structured plan into place based on the season of your life that you're in and the goals that you have. And so I have January and February mapped out already, loosely. Of course, there'll be a million things that come on top and try to shake me loose. But because I'm setting this plan now, I'll be in pretty good shape. Now, going back to the fourth quarter and October specifically, the month that we're in. By the way, October, worst month of the year. Why? A lot of reasons. Mostly because of Halloween. And when I say that, I'm kind of just kidding, but I'm not. It's when adults become children again. And please don't mistake this for me not having any love for you having childlike behavior, because I think that's a beautiful thing. We should all probably look at the world a little bit more like our children do. It's this that like when you spend 3 weeks of your year, and it's probably, to be fair, starting next week, leading into the first week or so of November, when you spend the entire 3 weeks of your of the year, your life, if you take 3 weeks of your life every single year, and you can't not eat a Kit Kat at 10 a.m. in the office on a Tuesday because you walked by the receptionist's desk and he or she put a bowl of candy out. And so every day you start to eat candy randomly at 10 a.m. because it's there. And then like when you have one of whatever it is, you say things like dumb things like, I can't just eat one, well, fuck it. I just had one. So, and then you make this excuse to like have like 4 more, then you feel bad about yourself. Then you go into this like shame cycle. Then you make poor choices after that. And then you just say it's the holidays. And so that's just silly to me. And so Halloween is mostly the reason why October is the worst month of the year, but it's also the lead up to it. People start to celebrate Halloween at the end of September, which is not necessary. It's a 1-day holiday at the end of the month. And I'm cool with like, you celebrating maybe the weekend before if Halloween falls on a Thursday and you want to go to a Halloween party on a Saturday before. By the way, I'm not mad at, the way our wives hopefully will dress up on Halloween, but even that like sort of tends to like dull down over the years. And so that's a bummer too now, being married for 17 years. My wife doesn't dress on Halloween the way she used to dress. And so that sucks for me. And so like, it's just a letdown for me. Couple of the worst candies ever invented, candy corn, just throw them away. I mean, Jesus Christ, what are you doing eating a candy corn? Peeps, pretty much awful. Now I'm a fan of marshmallows, but they belong inside of 2 graham crackers and a piece of chocolate over a fire pit for s'mores. All right. I'm not a fan of just putting glittered marshmallow puffs in my mouth and chewing them. That seems a little ridiculous. And then for all of you adult men out there who enjoy having that creamy Cadbury egg burst into your mouth, that creamy burst explode in your mouth, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing either. So those are 3 of the worst candies on the planet. And they're all very, very accessible around Halloween. Although I would say the Cadbury egg is probably also like an Easter thing too. The Peeps, at least for my kids, it's also an Easter thing too. So I got a problem with Easter a little bit, but I'm starting to get into Jesus a little bit. So I kind of can't have a problem with Easter. So I'm like really torn there. So my rambling about Halloween and candy is now over, but it's like we use these excuses to completely throw away days. And so like a lot of us have already said to ourselves, like, yeah, holidays are going to be tough. And you might be right. Holidays might be tough, but I've talked about this recently on my email and a little bit on my Instagram, where it's like, let's just do the math. Welcome to math class. Welcome to my math class. And at the time I started talking about this, it was even more powerful, but it still is. So like the beginning of October, we had effectively 90 days or so, right? Till the end of the year. It was really like 92 or 93 the first time I looked at it on October 1st, I think. And let's just say there's 5 or 6 actual holiday moments where, it's kind of like a day off. Now, I would argue, and my clients know, that even on a day off of like a holiday, should we maybe get movement in? Should we maybe get a workout in? Should we get some low calorie, high protein and fiber choices in early in the day, like before Thanksgiving? Should we eat egg whites and Greek yogurt and some strawberries and blueberries and get 10,000 steps in and maybe even a morning workout in? Heading into protein shake, heading into that big feast? Maybe, if that's part of your plan. Do you have a plan? Do you even have a plan, bro? And so if you do those things beforehand, maybe it's not even a full day. Maybe it's not even a full day, but let's just say it's a full day, 5, 6 days. Then of course you're like, well, Brian, there's 17 holiday parties and this and that and dinners and whatever. And so maybe you have another 5 or 6 days. Let's just say 5 holidays completely off, 5 other full days. Okay. So what I mean by that is like, you might have 10 holiday party moments, right? Office parties, social gatherings, meet up with your high school friends, couples dinners, kids parties, whatever, right? Day before Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving, we make 1 day holidays into 4 days. Okay. 2 days before Christmas, the fuck you talking about? And so maybe those 5 or so days are those 10 or so moments all add up to another 5 full days. So where I'm going with this is we have somewhere between 70 and 80 days left. If you listen to the pod soon after it drops, right after it drops, I think we're probably around 80. And let's just say it takes you a week or so to listen to this, and you're listening to me sometime in mid-October, we got 70-ish days left. Let's just say that you execute 60 out of 70 of those. I'm pretty sure that that's like 80 something percent. And at this point, now I want to turn on my calculator and do it, because 60 divided by 70 is 0.857. If you want to go 85.7% compliant for the rest of the year, all you have to do is flawlessly, and I say that in air quotes or ish, flawlessly execute 60 days and then enjoy yourself during those 5 holidays and then those 10-ish moments that might add up to another 5 full days. But here's the problem. The problem is, number one, you aren't even close to flawlessly executing those 60 days. And when I say that, I say it in 2 ways. Number one, you don't try. Number two, you try, but you're doing all the wrong shit. Okay? You're blasting yourself with intensive workouts. You're not tracking what you eat. You go to the gym for 60 minutes, 5 days a week. Congratulations. And I'm not being sarcastic. That is awesome. Then you sit around so much that you actually kind of counterbalance the benefit of going to the gym. You get on the treadmill thinking you're burning calories. You do the dumbbell curl to press to squat to lunge to whatever to burpee, and you run over to the rowing machine, and then you row, and then you do some jumping jacks, and you cardio bunny your way around the gym, saying that you lifted weights, and you really didn't. You just had a cardio workout with some weights. And so you're not doing the actual things to be flawless, right? So that's another problem. But let's just assume that you could do that. You could then go enjoy the rest of your moments. You could actually plan those moments out ahead of time, which is something that we do inside of all of my programs, one-on-one clients, group of executives, entire company. You planned out Q1 already. You may have even planned out all of 2025. Yet you don't know what the hell you're going to eat for lunch today. And you make a decision at 12:15, maybe 12:07, after your 11:30 ran late, and you got at 12:15, and now all of a sudden you're stuck because you can't get to the salad place that you told yourself you were going to try to go to. And so you just run into the pantry and you grab some bullshit and you jump on your 12:15. And then you get hungry because it was just a snack that you grabbed. So when the cookies are sitting at the desk, or that Kit Kat that's at Susan or Tom's receptionist desk, didn't want to, pigeonhole Susan into being the receptionist with the candy, the candy drug dealer, right? So Tom, you're fucking us up too. Or you go by the receptionist desk, you start eating candy, and all of a sudden you go home after work, you're still a little hungry because you've just snacked on stuff. None of it is protein or fiber related. And you walk in the door and dinner's not ready for an hour because your wife's doing other shit. And so then you start to eat more snacks. And so you've accumulated a fair amount of calories over the course of the day now, but not much of it is single ingredient whole foods from as close to nature as possible. There is absolutely not an emphasis on protein and fiber. And so you're constantly kind of hungry, right? And you feel like you're just snacking, eating like a bird. And so when I say, how's your nutrition? You go, it's pretty good. I don't eat that much. You're right and you're wrong, because you probably accumulate more calories than you think, but absolutely most of it, close to zero of it, are productive calories. And so when I say things like you can eat anything you want some of the time and look like I do, elite, you just can't eat everything you want all of the time. And so when I eat anything I want some of the time, it's within the context of a plan. It's within the context of me handling my business the rest of the time, which is the key. And so there's a lot here that I covered quickly, so I'll try to wrap it all up, all right? You plan meticulously for 2025 in Q1. You haven't done a fucking thing about this week in your personal life. You've written off much of the rest of the year. We still got 70 to 80 days left. What if you just handled 60 to 65 of them? Doesn't seem that hard to me. And then those days that you do want to go off track, what if you just had a plan? What if you had a plan for knowing what you were going to consume? So that when you had that 5th vodka, you said to yourself, I planned for 5 vodkas. Congratulations, Brian. You hit your goal. I'm not going to try to just have 3. I'm just going to say I'm going to have 5. I'm going to fucking stop at 5. And I know enough to know what type of food's going to be there. So I'm going to go immediately for this type of food. I know there's going to be steak and vegetables there. I'm going to eat a lot of those and a little bit of the other stuff. I'm an adult. I don't need a Kit Kat at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for actual Halloween and send my kids out to the neighborhood to barter for every 100-gram bar that they can possibly find. And then I'm going to take all those 100-gram bars. I'm going to shake kids down in the neighborhood. Any kid that comes to my door, you might be sensing that this is a plan already thought out by somebody who you may in fact be listening to right now. Every kid that comes to my door, I'm going to barter for 100-gram bars. I'm going to give them phenomenal deals they cannot resist. I'm then going to take those 100-gram bars and I'm going to put them in the freezer. And every day between now and I don't know, until they run out, I might enjoy a little bit of a 100-gram bar or all of one, because currently my plan fortunately allows for me to have calories like that without any issue whatsoever. And every day I will plan for it. And so I'll get to enjoy things that I like and still stay on track. And that, my friends, is the beauty of following someone who's done it before and actually committing to a process that has been proven to work for people exactly like you. And so whether or not you follow a structured process by experts, because there are a lot of experts all over the place, go find one, even if you're not going to do that. Hopefully I just laid out a process for you to think about. Start to prepare and think about what it is you're going to do with your life outside the office. When is the next date you're going on with your spouse? When are you spending quality time with your kids this week? When are you going to the gym? When are you taking walks? When are you meditating? When are you journaling? When are you reading your Bible if you're religious? I don't give a fuck what it is. When are you doing it? Stop trying to. Start scheduling it, committing to it, and following through with some accountability. Hope you had a great time listening to my speech about how terrible Halloween is. I'm half kidding. It's a great holiday for the kids. It just shouldn't be a reason that you put on 5 pounds. Appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this one, please share it with somebody. Hopefully with somebody who doesn't love Halloween too much, because they won't love it. I'll see you back here next week.